There are plenty of videos here for anyone interested in pursuing an Asian male-white female relationship. You can even learn game, pick up artistry and maintaining relationships. But few really go into the problems that Asian men face when dealing with white women, and to my mind, it's mostly cultural. Men and women are the same all over, we're all human, but our mindset is the biggest difference. In short, Asians think and have a very different attitude to sex and relationships compared to the West, and they don't often align very well. The typical Asian mindset is to date seriously, marriage and children is the objective. Divorce remains fairly low among us, especially compared to the West, and that has left a romantic imprint on many of us. The Chinese symbol for good is the symbols for girl and boy next to each other, almost like the yin and yang idea that Laozi and even Confucius were proponents of. Whether you agree or not, it's imprinted in our minds, like the fairy tales they tell us when we're children. However, the reality is far from it. Psychology and other sciences have proved otherwise. Relationships are not perfect, rarely in unison, and there isn't any real compelling evidence to support so either. Just look at your own parents. Were they a perfect match? Did they ever argue? Became abusive, even to the point of violence towards one another? Relationships are political, economic, even contentious at times. Instead of in harmony, it's often a power struggle actually, and one will become the dominant one. That's the reality of it. You need to accept that, and if you can't, you'll be left disappointed. For those of you who have been in a long-term relationship, even married, to another Asian or white woman, then I ask you, how many times have you been ordered about by her? How many times has she said hurtful things? How many times has she been angry with you and been spiteful? Arguments that you feel were pointless, even petty, and you didn't even understand why at times, did you? What I'm trying to do with rid that romantic dream that's still in your mind, it's actually working against you when you try to impress a woman as well. You just don't know and understand why, do you? I once knew a Chinese man who really wanted a white woman. He was hopeless. It was a shock to find someone so naive at his age, but clearly had a sheltered life, a homeboy, like a lot of Asian families. He was so desperate for a white woman, he ended up with a single mother, who already had 2 children by different fathers, and he ended up fathering her third. She was gutter trash but desperate for a man herself. He just didn't see it, so stupid in chasing something she could never give him. He even put up with a lot of disrespect from her. She was even sleeping around behind his back, and when he moved in, he just ended up treated like a doormat. Just another naive, hopeless romantic, chasing a dream that didn't exist. He got fed up in the end and left. There was only so much he could take, yet that woman still got a paycheck from him, child support. Just listen to all those soppy love songs that Asian music provides us with, even some of the films and TV shows produced. It's not that the West doesn't do so as well, they can be just as sentimental at times, yet I can assure you, we're far more afflicted by it, and it's because of our emotions. Another issue many Asian men suffer from, especially shyness. It's an emotion like any other, and we let our feelings get the better of us. It's a repressive society really. We don't have a habit of managing or regulating our feelings. Although some of us are better at it than others, many aren't. In the West, people sometimes even apologize for losing their temper, even raising their voices and being rude, while in Asia, it isn't so common. We often hold on to them, in the belief that they're valid even. It's just arrogance. Some of us do have humility though. They tend to be either Christian, or at least influenced by that culture. Frustration, anger, bitterness, indeed, the potential for all emotions are present in everyone. It's how you manage them that matters. Not letting go and allowing them to overwhelm you is what's important. Even literally going into a frenzy over them will work against you. All this is actually signaling weakness to women, weak character, and she won't find you attractive. A child is purely emotional. A man, at least one that a woman wants, is mature, not insecure. It isn't just Asian men that can idolize women. Plenty of others do actually. They just see a beautiful creature and want her, falling in love in an instant, yet failing to see her faults, and she has many actually. You're just not aware of them. She's often more insecure than you actually. Stupid, even lazy, selfish and weak herself. She will age and lose her looks too, and can become bitter and resentful, yet all you see is her beauty, that feeling in the moment. You're shy because you're afraid really, and she can sense it. I can give you reasons why most women in America and Western Europe will never see you as a potential partner. Working on yourself can help a little. Yet, it is what it is. You cannot change the world. Women as well, they will never fit into the daydream you have, and it is a daydream. You need to see women for what they are, and yourself as well. It may sound strange, but we've been programmed all our lives. Our parents imprint on us, our siblings, relatives, even schooling, friends and the media. My advice is to stop believing the world, even your life, is what you want it to be. but just see the world and people for what they are. When you work on yourself to improve your sexual marketplace value, it isn't just making more money, looking better by going to the gym, and buying things like a nice car and clothes. It's also your inner self, strength of character, and women will be testing that part of you. I can promise you that. It's not that Europeans and even Americans don't have their faults, they do, but they're just different than ours. You can make your own judgment of them, but when dealing with a white female, you're still going to have to manage her accordingly. Their ideas of egalitarianism, liberty and freedom have reached parts of Asia, yet part of us still adhere to our conservative traditions. Can you even imagine some Asian countries embracing a fully democratic government? It's amazing that many Asians remain so silly and stupid. How many of them have a gambling problem? They're addicted to the excitement and greed. How many of them still believe in ghosts and spirits? Superstitious even, lucky numbers and Chinese horoscopes. So many of these good Asian kids in school, who worked hard, went to universities and ended up with good jobs, are still so naive about women, even their own nature. They've just been brought up in a certain way, yet are, and can, still be so petty, even jealous, insensitive and ignorant of so much. There is enlightenment in reason and rationale, strength can be drawn from it even, and it'll make you a better man. Work on that, of course. You don't have to, but you won't get very far in life.